Hey Bruno,
Hi.
how's it going?
I thought it was LD opening.
I did too. I was already sitting down ready to come.
That's really cool.
Kawa is calling the shots, so he said now we started.
Hello. Welcome to the Alienware Cup. This is totally not my I just woke up voice, by the way. Totally not.
So we have our losers bracket final today.
Thank
Navi
you.
versus IG.
Day 13,
Who do you think is gonna win?
second to last day.
First off.
It's a rematch of the International 2. I was just talking to some friends and I was saying there's no way this game is not going to 5 games. I think this series is going to be long drawn out. Both teams have their have proven their strength.
Are we gonna see another 75-minute game like yesterday?
No, I don't think so. That's LGD China mostly. They're the boring ones. But IG, they have.
China won their games in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
the last
5.
one.
They're still boring because Bruno's a hater.
Yeah.
He's a hater.
Yeah, I'm not a hater. I'm gonna talk to
You're
them.
a big hater.
I'll see them next month and I'll be like, you know, guys, we need to talk. You're doing something right, but you're doing something really wrong.
You know what Chow It's gonna say to you?
What will he
Kiss
say
the
to me?
ring.
Okay.
Kiss the ring, because I'm winning TI3.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
But yeah, IG
This
has
isn't the Super Bowl. You don't get a ring.
You
Do
should get a ring. Rings are awesome. Maybe, what do you know? Maybe they'll give away some rings this year.
I don't know.
actually no. Oh, whoa! They do give
They do?
they do give away rings. Don't you remember? I actually have a picture with a ring from TI2.
I don't
Really?
remember.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
I'll have to find it. but
Okay, post it later. I would
Yeah.
love to.
Cool.
Would love to see that.
Yeah. I'll have
Lumi's
it
so
together.
fascinated. He's just reading about anime right now.
Go on, Bruno.
I don't
So
see the problem.
IG, let me tell you, they won the matches they needed to win, just because they started using this. Just look at that. Because they started using the Owl Devourer and the Tree. That's something that the Chinese teams do not know how to play around. Quantic has been using that for about a month now, since DreamHack Summer, even a little bit before. I mean,
Why
that's-
OD with it though? Couldn't you just substitute that with
The thing is that
most other heroes?
well, they could, but OD pretty much wins every mid lane. It's really, really hard. I think the only hero that can actually do consistently okay against him is surprisingly Kanka. Because he doesn't need the mana, he doesn't need intelligence, he will just outlast hit you. But the problem is if you have living armor all the time, then suddenly you counter all the passive damage of Tidebringer. People say that Lone Druid counters the Owl Devourer. It has been proven to not be true. The OD does
Too much damage.
but slightly below average compared to.
But I mean, winning mid lane is not even that important. It's like there's not going to be any kills that happen. Sure, you out CS, but I don't think that matchup, even just like out CSing, even by double, I don't think that's that big of an impact on the game.
it's all about getting the early mech. And when you get the early mech, you push as 5, and it's really, really hard to fight against that. And then there is the Owl Devourer becomes, I will not say irrelevant, but it's just like the mech carrier and one of the damage dealers. And if you get Joe, Joe on some items by that point, you'll be fine. You'll be carried to victory. You will be able to just capitalize the advantage that you will definitely get in the laning stage just because you have the tree, and get the towers, get the gold.
Well, we saw Navi run it
Yeah.
too, so maybe it'll be first to pick tree.
Well, the thing, yeah.
The battle.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised. The thing is, I think Navi knows how to play against this. I think Navi at least understands how it's played.
But you said it's unstoppable. You get the mech.
No,
push,
I
you
say
get some
I
items.
say it's unstoppable for the Chinese teams.
Mm.
Now, what do you do if you want to play against that? You have to just apply pressure into the tree. The tree has, first of all, the charges are now 4 only for living armor, and it has a long cooldown. So what you have to do, the only way to actually properly defeat tree, is to be synchronized with your team. If you're in your lane and you see living armor being cast, you tell everyone, okay, he just casted living armor. So for the next 15 seconds, he can't cast it again. I mean, it's a good spell, but it's not no cooldown spell, right? So if you just apply a little bit of pressure to mid, he cuts living armor, he's like, guys, 15-second window, let's dive bottom.
I just want to point out that we've allowed Bruno to completely hijack the pregame show for like 10 minutes now to
Well,
talk
I don't know,
about
he's
living
asking
armor
me.
and OD.
He's asking me, I'm following. Let's go and introduce LD and Luminous.
I wanted to see how long you could go about it.
I wanted to see as well.
you don't wanna
Lumi was
know.
just not even here. Like he was so mentally checked
Dude,
out. You can't
he
even
was
believe it.
Giving the most boring talk about living
most
armor,
boring
like,
hero.
Yeah, how are we missing the storylines here, guys? Come
How
on.
7,000 people listening to Bruno talking about that shit? You know what I've
Jesus.
suffered through for the last 2 hours?
Just because you're sleepy.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy.
Doesn't mean you have to bring us all down with you,
Seriously,
Bruno.
Like the energy
wake
level
up.
is just unacceptable.
It's Navi versus IG.
Exactly.
Rematch of the International 2 Grand Finals. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the International 3 Grand Finals. The teams, IG on the rise, Navi.
I wouldn't call them on the rise.
They've been on the rise lately. They had some good performances. Remember, there was that period where they had a huge rut. The G1 League Land Finals, IG go into that tournament and were getting crushed.
I call them going back to where they originally belong.
I think it's okay. They were in a rut.
Yeah.
Now they're back up.
Yeah.
I call that being
That's on the rise.
On the rise.
I call that a bounce back.
Thank you for being incredibly pedantic.
Thank you. No problem.
Man, nobody wants to talk about this match. We all just want to
Can you tell me more about Tree and OD?
Yeah, please.
tell me a story, Merlini.
Well, the one time I was talking to Bruno about this Navi and IG matchup, and then there was a discussion about the tree, and then it never ended.
But I mean, in all seriousness, to me, it is an interesting sort of hero interaction, right? Because
Tell me more.
I think
Yes.
the big story here is that IG is picking a little bit more creatively lately. Seemed like they're in a rut. Seemed like they were giving away a lot of stuff they shouldn't. CK Wisp. I imagine we'll see Wisp getting banned every game. I thought LGD would do that. They didn't. They lost that game.
Right.
And then they learned the lesson.
Then they learned their lesson.
So Tree will be banned all the games here.
I don't think Tree is as much of a
I
problem
think
as
you
Wisp.
have to ban Wisp. Wisp you should just straight up ban.
But it's
Wisp.
IG will ban the Wisp.
Yeah.
Navi doesn't need to ban the Wisp.
Why would Tree be banned
No.
again? I don't think either team would use Tree.
They
IG
both use
IG
They
Tree.
do use Tree, but they don't use Tree like a crutch, you know? It's like
Yeah.
part of the strategy. If they see it fit, then they'll throw it in.
Exactly. It's a
Yeah.
hero that they can plug in. It's not like their entire team is built around
Yeah,
Tree.
neither team is kind of exactly too scared of Tree. I think it's a very beatable hero.
Yeah.
Although when Chuan and the rest of IG's playing Tree, the Tree never actually dies.
Yeah.
And then
you never actually see them.
right. So
We'll
maybe
see.
maybe you do ban Tree. Who knows?
We have actually all our players here on time. All 10 in the
unless
lobby.
you do.
So I imagine we'll be starting on time here. Do we want to introduce the teams? We can actually go through the stats properly.
I don't know. Do we wanna?
I don't know. I still like this tree.
Are we all along for the journey here?
Can we introduce the players based on who plays and who doesn't play Tree?
Chuan
I like that.
and Puppy?
Let me tell you, I don't think there's any trees on our slides. Sorry, Bruno.
Okay.
He's not a most picked hero for either of these
God
teams.
damn it.
Just change the background.
Just a giant picture of Tree.
Yeah.
What
Welcome
about
to the
Space
Alienware
Cows?
Cup, brought to you by Treant Protector.
Do you have Space Cows?
No space cows. Nobody's picking him.
Tree house,
Damn.
space cows. How do you have tree houses in space?
Yeah. I mean, space trees, of course. Duh.
Okay, we're introducing the teams now. Let's start with whoever Kawa's got lined up.
Haven't
Of course,
you read
this
the Little
match
Prince?
is your loser bracket finals. It's going to be a best of 5, and we'll start with IG. Joe, your
Joe.
carry player.
He doesn't play Tree, but he does play lots of carry heroes that carry you to victory. Do you have any favorite hero for Joe? I like his gyrocopter. It's really safe. It's really...
Yeah, I think they're all about the same. Nothing's like spectacular. I mean, his anti-mage is pretty good, but
Mhm.
they're all very good.
Then we have Ferrari. This guy plays pretty much everything. His TA is very highlighted. I think LD once got really girly excited because he killed the brood mother, which is something that's really...
Girly excited. You need to watch that clip again, my friend.
I remember that clip very, very well.
That was a deep, manly bellow.
He get it with the splash! He get it with the splash!
He gets him with the splash!
That-
Roar!
Ah, that's much better. YYF, best of laner in the
You
world.
just blew out my eardrums. Holy fuck.
Good. That's what Bruno gets. He challenged me. You questioned me. You challenged me.
So YYF,
Let's go.
this guy looks really happy. I like him a lot, and he's probably one of the.
He's trying to smile like Lifestealer.
Yeah, which is something that he picks a lot, and
His bat's pretty incredible.
his bat's pretty incredible. His Juggernaut offlane is pretty cool as well. Chuan, he
Tree
plays-
picker.
Tree picker.
Tree
Like
player.
this guy, best guy in the world, super tall, super funny. He taught me this drinking game while we were at TA2, where you had to point at someone, and when you point, like you had to say some words in Chinese, you had to point at someone, and not that person, but the two person at the side had to lift their hands, and if they didn't, they had to drink, and people like got drunk super fast. It's better if you play than if I tell you. And then we have
I'll
Faith.
take your word for it.
Yeah, and Faith, the 5-player, he wears fancy glasses, but he can see the whole map at once.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
the
his
glasses
super
He's the
superpower.
quiet guy on the team. We
He
never
played
see
Tree-
Faith make,
he played
make
Tree
anything like
yesterday.
amazing. He
He
did?
played Tree yesterday and went 2-0-5, but Chuan was playing the Chen, so they had 2 Tree players, and both of them
Oh.
are immortal.
IG favored?
Wow, definitely.
Yeah.
That flexibility.
Yeah.
Of course, we have Do we want to do hexagons and stats now or at the end, Kawa?
Why not?
We'll do hexagons now. We'll
Hey,
do
they
stats
were a 1,
after we
weren't they?
introduce
Or was that
Navi.
LGD China?
No, LGD China was the one in creativity.
Three's pretty.
Three's pretty okay.
reasonable.
Yeah,
I think they've been a little more
respect it.
creative lately, but even then, they're picking stuff that other teams are picking. Tree, obviously, did not invent using that hero by any means.
You know why Joe gets the 7? Because he's not her boss.
So who's ahead of him? Burning is ahead of him.
Burning,
Burning,
Sylar,
Sylar, and
Who's
Much,
number-
no.
I can't remember the last one. Burning and Sylar, I know for sure.
Yeah.
And the other Chinese carry?
Zo?
We might have Hao. I think Hao's 8 or 6.
Zo's a 7.
Can't remember.
Zo's a 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, he's pretty. He's good at farming. He's good at not getting picked off, but not exceptional at either. I mean, he's pretty darn good though. And then
Yeah.
team fights a little bit lacking apparently on a 6. I don't know if I put it at a 6.
I think it's maybe a little bit higher, but it is so
Yeah.
subjective. I do like the 10 clutchness. You win TI2, you get 10 clutchness just by default.
They were not clutch versus Navi in the last.
Oh no, but
meeting,
that's
though.
not clutchness because that's when you go down.
They're
to
just
the
like,
list.
whatever. We'll just
Yeah,
let's
let's
play
just
them next
go
time.
back later. Yeah.
Scout out their strategies.
Kawa telling us that we should probably move on.
This is your favorite carry player. The best one.
The best carry player. This is an 11 in the hexagon. That's the reason we can't have 11 is we just like.
well,
it doesn't
James was
fit.
saying if you go to 11, it goes all cycles all the
Exactly.
way down
So
to
you go
1.
down there and he gets a 4 for some reason, but
He's next level.
he's totally next level. This guy is amazing at diving. His team is the one that doesn't understand him.
You don't need to put the V there. I think he's
Right.
just dying.
Yeah, maybe. I like that. Dendi. Dendi has recently been seen with Ferrari's girlfriend. I'll just- I'll ju-
Ex-girlfriend.
Well, I mean, once a girlfriend, always a girlfriend, or something like that. So that's the storyline. Forget about TI2 rematch or whatever.
Has Ferrari been on tilt? Is that why he's been losing matchups?
Maybe. Funny. This guy wasn't with Ferrari's girlfriend, but he's seen in the offlane a lot, and he's a very cool guy. He gets the job done. He's no YYF, but getting there slowly. Let's see what happens with him. Puppy, the Clementinator. Do you think this guy is smarter than Chuan playing Dota?
I don't know. They play differently. I'd
How
say.
about playing basketball? They both play. Oh. 4
Puppy-
position. top
Puppy
lane.
would crush him in basketball.
Puppy's trying to get inside his head in the pregame lobby, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, you could even show my screen if you want, Kawa, or I can just read it out. But yeah, there's a little banter back and forth between these two.
I can't read it.
I
You
can't
have to
read-
read
yeah,
it aloud
please.
Outside Dota bad, also. No outside, all my life equals Dota. 24 hours, says Chuan. And now Puppy wants to make a tango exchange.
A tango exchange.
Let's
Why
exchange
am I not
tangos
there?
this game. Chuan says, no problem. Meet your Roshan. Puppy says, I want tangos bought by Chuan. In my inventory, you pulled me. Tangos change flask, says Chuan. Like brother, 10 gold. IG Chuan, 10 gold. Brother? 10 gold? No response from Puppy.
Okay. Well,
Clearly, he doesn't think of him as a brother.
no. I don't know. It's
Puppy leaving
it's,
Chuan
a
90 here.
brother that owes
There's
him
going to
money.
be some animosity now.
Kuroki, however, does not take place in these shenanigans. He just wants to go there and win. He is the guy that gets the job done. It's like, Dota is a job. I sit there, I play my games, I win my games. And that's what makes me a great support. Not only because I play Rubik. That's what he does. Creativity.
That should be a
man.
40, actually. We got to get that fixed.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's a missing 0.
I think it's a 4 in the quarter. No, what was that like? It's another base, like number base. It's that 4 is actually a 10. It's 4 out of 4. Semi carry 6. This is really funny because I would really rank Dendi as like individually as maybe a 9, 10, arguably. Like you can discuss whether.
As opposed to as a team? Team Dendi?
No. Yeah. No. I mean, but when you look at semi carries, you look at the 2 and the 3 position. I'm
okay.
putting Dendi at a 9.
But you say Funnick is not a 9?
Well, the thing is that if semi carries is a 6, if you put Dendi as a 9
That means
to
Funnick.
average, that means that Funnick is a 3.
I don't think Funnick's a 3.
I don't think Funnick is a 3.
I think Funnick's above a 6.
I think Funnick's a 3.
A tree?
Yeah.
Funnick has a pretty good dark seer. He beat Ferrari in an off lane. He killed him twice.
That's very
and
true.
Yep.
Ferrari was
With
a
living
weaver.
armor.
He did have living armor, but I would definitely rank him above 6. Regardless, we see 6 as a semi-carry. Pretty much similar shape, just shifted around a little bit. I think IG was lacking creativity and team fight, and looks like Navi is lacking a little bit in semi-carries and Havost.
So of course the last time these two teams met, it was a 2-0 IG
Yes.
or Navi.
2-0 Navi.
2-0 Navi, and it was easy 2-0s.
Yep, very fast.
Funnick, like you mentioned, that one game where they had a tree, 2 solo kills on 430 in the safe lane. There was the 1v1 mid where Dendi got a solo kill as OD against Lone Druid, which doesn't really happen too often, to say
No.
the least.
That's true.
So IG solos really misplayed badly in that series. Clearly Navi got the better of them there. Do we think that's going to go differently this time?
If you without the tree, I don't think it's that big of a deal. We don't usually see the mess up matchups.
No.
Ferrari and whoever
No,
played
but
the solo
it's
bear.
all about. I think it's all about good Dota players know when they go into a 1v1 situation how much damage they can dish and how much damage they can take, how they can use their abilities to dodge like a certain portion of the damage. And I think Living Armor screws with that a lot. Like
It
it's
does.
really hard to just predict how much damage the other guy is actually taking. So sometimes you overestimate. When you see, like, for example, the first kill from Darkseer to the Weaver, the Darkseer actually dies to the tower afterwards. So it was not like, oh, this guy killed me and he's full health or half health.
Yeah.
It was really close. But
I think both of them were pretty close.
yeah. So I mean, that's might be the Living Armor thing.
Definitely
Okay.
is.
It's all about the tree.
It's all about the tree.
To me, I don't think Dendi's going to be losing his lane. Yesterday, Ferrari, I don't think he was playing that well. The storyline is that, yeah, he went absolutely godlike with his Templar Assassin.
He had a lot of help, though.
What we didn't see was that he was even on CS against a Storm Spirit with a Templar Assassin for the first 3 minutes. That shouldn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a matchup advantage. You have, what, 80 more damage with Refraction Drain or 40 more damage? How do you have even assets?
And that was where the solo mid he's up against it was Super.
Super
Super
first home game.
First of all, Super made a couple of key mistakes. He
Right.
dies, he TPs back in, he dies again.
Yeah.
But the other big thing was Super had no backup from his supports as a Storm versus
None at all,
TA.
yeah.
Dendi gets, I would say, more backup than most other solos.
Yes.
Puppy, Kuroki, particularly Puppy, really emphasizes setting him up for early success.
I don't see Dendi losing any lane that is not heavily disadvantaged. Like, if he plays Dragonite against OD, then he'll lose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it's
Even
like,
Dendi will lose that.
yeah,
lane.
if you play Queen of Pain Puck, my money's on Dendi. Yeah.
I think Puppy's really the X factor for that lane as well.
Sure. He always sends. Yesterday we saw Wildkin being sent in, or just as a tier 2 Shockwave and be annoying as hell. Not to say that Ferrari is a bad player. He plays great. But I
Right.
just think Dendi will beat him at least right now. I don't. The Chinese solo mid has not been impressive this tournament. That's just me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree as well. It has not been impressive, but maybe he becomes impressive again. And he takes the girl back.
This is still Ferrari 430. He can just take a game over.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing it. That doesn't mean that he won't
He
do
did
it.
it yesterday. With the
Yeah,
Zumba. Yeah.
But he had help. I think it's possible for him to win his lane against Dendi to break even, certainly, and maybe to snowball, depending on his hero.
It's so hard to actually like snowball off
Yeah.
the mid lane if you don't kill the enemy mid like twice, because it's harder to find kills and less efficient to find kills on the other lanes. Then he's not gonna get killed twice.
I do also want to mention that 430, I think, is the better player when it comes to playing those teamfight initiators like Panda, Magnus.
Yes.
Yeah. Melee strong.
Beastmaster.
Yeah, those teamfight specialists. I think 430 is much stronger there, but I would give Dendi the edge when it comes to snowballing and just kind of taking over a game all by himself.
I wonder if IG's gonna take a page of the banning book out of LGD China yesterday.
Yeah.
Not only they banned the Wisp, which is a key factor in this matchup, they also banned the Puck on the
Yeah.
second phase repeatedly.
I think it's worth a ban.
Well, yeah, I think so too. Not on the first stage. In the second stage, you give away the Queen of Pain, that's fine. But I think Puck gives you a lot more nukage power and more importantly, better crowd control as well. So
And Navi likes to teamfight a lot,
Yeah.
and early and often, around that like 10 to 15 minute mark, and having a puck is perfect for that.
phenomenal, especially when he farms a quick wing. But Bruno,
Didn't Dendi have puck in the first game versus LG China, the game where Navi dominated? And he was like walking with the puck and no one was focusing
They were
on him at
ignoring
all.
him. He was like,
Yeah.
Ion Shell need a double damager, and
Cool. And just kill people, and that was what Dendi does. I mean, to be fair, Puck is a highly mobile hero, and sometimes going into a Puck means chasing, and you don't want to do that with the rest of the team alive. But the Puck was doing whatever he wanted, and Dendi is one of the few people that can play like that. The other person actually is Ferrari. I think both play
yeah.
pretty mean Puck.
We do have some stats for these two teams, so we can take a look at some of their most played heroes, average win time, average game time, average kills per game.
Average win rate in April?
We have win rate as well.
Okay,
that one's
good.
really interesting for IG.
Wasn't it 100%?
Yeah. For April it was. They didn't play that many games, but that was right before the end of their big, long winning streak. They were dominating the G1 Fires, I think, and made it to the LAN finals in good shape. But as of late, IG has been taking games later. They've been struggling to finish games early. They're a team that likes to finish games early. I feel they're very similar to Navi in that respect, where both teams try to gain an early advantage, dominate and outskill the opponent, and end the game by like 30 to 35 minutes. So to me, the fact that IG's average win time is 42 minutes is actually a bit of a problem for them, because I don't think they're an LGD China, a DK, where they want to take it late. Not that they can't win late, but I don't think it's their game style.
They've been struggling.
I wonder if this is more of a reflection of the patch change, because when they're winning, they're doing hero with like Lifestealer, Lone Druid, heroes that knock down all of your towers, and then they gain so much advantage through gold and experience, and then just finish. Whereas the new patch, sure, tower gives you more gold. I found that out painfully, and the wrap is coming. But it's harder to do that against teams that are more expected to defend their towers, and also the heroes that they're very good at got nerfed. So
it seems like maybe they just have long games in general, as apparently their average game time overall is longer than their average win time still. So average win time 42 minutes, average game time 45.
Okay.
So might be a reflection of the heroes they pick,
as
Lumi says. It makes sense if that happens. I mean, sometimes the heroes not only can take a long time to win, but also if they're losing, they can delay the game a lot. Most big heroes, why are we not surprised to see Rubik there for Navi?
Yeah, pretty much the same heroes for Navi. We have one more Rubik game, I think, for Kuroki, but the Chen, the Rubik, and then some sort of early combat carry. For, the Darkseer for Funnick, and then an early combat carry for Havost.
Yeah.
Is kind of the keys to Navi.
They really like their YYF Lifestealer. That's
do.
not normally a Joe Lifestealer, although it can be. YYF is the guy that plays the hero a lot.
Yeah, that's only 10 games, but that's 10 games out of 34. So that's 1 out of every 3 games they're playing a Lifestealer.
Yep. Which
that's
is
a lot.
Interesting. So, lots of I mean, at least you get 2 different carries here. That's the interesting thing. They do play the dual core with Gyrocopter and Lifestealer. I think these 2 heroes complement each other very well, because while Lifestealer is a beast early to mid game, because in the early lane you can match it with anyone open wounds. Even though it's nerf range right now, if you have a setup stun, it means pretty much a short kill. And Gyrocopter, when it gets super late game, you have the possibility of a rapier, you have the possibility of doing lots of damage to everyone, which is something that Lifestealer is more focused into just killing one person. Gyrocopter destroys your whole team. So if you somehow can get farm on both of them, you'll be happy.
Of course, we've looked at some of the key heroes for these teams. We've talked a lot about the matchup, the Dendi versus 430 matchup in the mid lane. Both teams have strong jungle players, Chuan, Puppy. That's something to keep an eye on. With all the key points we've discussed in mind, do we have predictions? I think everybody predicted Navi yesterday would take the series, but we've all had a chance to sleep.
Yeah.
Think more about it. Some of us had a lot of chances to sleep. Have you changed your predictions?
I'm still going with Navi, but I'm going 3-2 Navi.
3-2. Going the distance. Merlini?
Well, my favorite rare giveaway site is about 3-2 odds in favor of Navi. So I actually placed my rares on IG. I think it's still going to be pretty close. If I could say draw, I would. So I would.
3-2 IG?
I'll say 3-2 IG. Good.
I told Ben to place those rares on IG because I told him, Merlini, either way you win.
Are you going to take his rares?
Either way he wins. If Navi wins, he gets another Navi series tomorrow, which everyone wants to see Navi rematch against LGD China. If they lose, well, then you get some rares.
Yeah.
So either way he wins.
So and watch a fantastic
My prediction is 3-2 IG. This way I win either way.
Chinese.
I want to see Navi go to the grand finals.
Okay.
But if IG wins, then my prediction was right.
You're one of us now, LD.
Yeah.
Well, for myself, I'm going to point to my shirt. And for those that get it, we'll get it. 3-2.
I also like Zelda.
Okay. Wait,
very good.
What? Okay, never mind.
All right, ladies and
Team Zelda, go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Navi versus IG, best of 5, loser bracket finals. The winner of this match will play LGD China in the grand finals of the Alienware Cup tomorrow. This Alienware Cup brought to you by Alienware as well as MasterCard.
Oh, GG.
And we have an interesting draft, Lumi. We got ourselves an unusual ball game.
Nice.
IG, first pick Wisp, now the Prophet. Well,
You know what this reminds me
can they make
of?
this work?
This reminds me of Zenith picking up a Wisp and Nature's
Yeah.
Prophet very early in the game. Or actually, was it LGD International that did that and roamed with the Vengeful Spirit? I don't think IG would go full aggression like that, but if they learn from LGD International, it's definitely a possibility. But what these two heroes promise you in the mid to late game is that a ton of split pushing, a ton of global ganking. It's hard to gank heroes like Alchemist and Visage, but if you get farther ahead enough, it's definitely doable.
Yeah, it really is, and obviously they're weak in the laning. Not horribly weak in the laning stage, but these are not heroes that want to be in big team fights. They want to find small pickoffs, skirmishes, hopefully some early towers, a quick level 6 for the Wisp. And Navi with an early Visage pick, well, we know what they want to do. They want to fight early and often. Look towards possibly an aggressive tri-lane here.
And it's actually very, very good if IG could win this particular game number 1 with the Wisp pick, because what Navi's been doing throughout the entire tournament against the Chinese is saying, hey, we're not going to ban the Wisp. You could play it because we know you don't play it well.
Yeah.
And if you don't ban it, then we'll take it. So they're basically saying the Chinese that always have to waste one ban. And if Navi or if Invictus Gaming show that they could use Wisp and play it well, suddenly it's an even playing field in terms of the pick ban stage. So they don't have to use a ban. And we'll see how well they practice, because I feel like this is one of the most unique hero to play with and play against. Everybody on the team have to know how to play with it. I'm talking about, you know, let's say if the Wisp is in trouble, you walk further away from him to tether.
Yeah.
Not many interaction like that exists in the game, so I'm very excited to see how this game is going to progress from here.
Have they been practicing it? How comfortable are they on that pick? That's what we're about to find out. Navi will go to the second stage of the bans now. They ban out a Chaos Knight, a Sand King, strong melee teamfight initiators, frontline heroes, and decent partners for Wisp. You can relocate into Epicenter. You can just relocate gank with CK. So they ban out some of the more common pairings, also removing one of Chuan's stronger heroes in the Sand King. And we'll see IG ban out Dendi heroes. Storm, Puck. What is Dendi going to play this game, Lumi? That's my big question right now. Quita Pain's in the pool, TA's in the pool if he wants to play one of those snowball mids. Anything else on your brain right now as far as what we might see for Dendi?
Well, Puppy's been picking a lot of more of the melee carries. We're going to see an OD this game.
Oh, man.
So I'm not sure whether a Treant Protector is coming soon. Although if Treant Protector is being picked up, we don't really have too much crowd control in the form of Navi. Or at least like real stuns. Invictus Gaming could easily kind of beat OD. I don't think OD is unbeatable in the mid lane. We saw on the Radiant especially, you could actually pull on the small camp.
You know who beats OD?
Who?
LD.
Sometimes. Sometimes. But yeah, on the Radiant side, you could tether to break that patch of trees next to the level 1 camp and then pull the mid lane. We did see, I think it was MUFC that tried something like that. It didn't really work out too well. But let's see if Invictus Gaming executed a little bit better. Of course, you got to keep in mind that there's always a +1 gank on the early game with Nature's Prophet TPing in. So depends on how much Invictus Gaming wants to pressure Dendi. They definitely could win the lane. It just depends on how much they want to focus on winning that lane.
So now for Navi, they have the OD mid, most likely for Dendi. I guess it could be a Havost safe lane OD, but it's Alchemist picked up. So probably a Puppy or Havost Alchemist as a part of an aggressive tri-lane. An OD for Dendi mid. They don't have that Phonic hero yet. He normally has been playing the Prophet, the Darkseer. Those are both banned out, so we'll have to wait and see what he goes for. But now that IG have revealed their hand, the Wisp, the Prophet, where do they go from here? What is step 2 for IG in this draft?
I think they're looking for more of a range hero that could do a lot more burst damage. I don't think you can actually pick melee carries and try to out-carry OD. We saw them use Lycanthrope yesterday. I think Lycan is a great kind of early game pressure, pusher, that kind of thing. But it's hard to actually deal against a team with OD who could disrupt him or his allies. So with that example being more passed throughout all the other melee heroes, it's hard to use melee heroes against OD in both laning and team fight stages. So look towards Invictus Gaming picking more range heroes. Gyrocopter, one of their go-to carries, already banned out on the first stage. I wonder what's left for them here. I'm not too sure myself.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure either. I mean, normally the partners for Wisp are melee heroes. Tiny,
Yes.
CK, I wouldn't say Sand King's a normal partner, but a Juggernaut we've seen at times. These melee, tanky, strength carries that benefit a lot more than anyone else from the attack speed buff, from the move speed buff. Like you said, OD, one of the best defensive carries in the game. IG's still not going to select anything that really is a combat hero yet. They'll go for a Chen, another great pushing hero. They have a strong early to mid-game push, and Navi, well, they want to aggressive tri-lane, perhaps with this Visage pick, but it is difficult to pull that off against a well-played Chen. We've seen before the creeps can really punish a Visage in the laning stage. So I like this pick from IG, but I'm still not sure where they're going with their draft. Like, what are they actually going to pick to combo with the Wisp?
I was quite sure that they were going to go into a Nyx Assassin, who does quite well against OD in terms of mono burn. The damage is always nice, and it's just a good support hero. The stun's always good. Against an Alchemist, you could, whenever he activates his Acid Spray, you just spike Carapace and walk in and get a free stun, no matter where the Alchemist is. But instead they go for Chen, so it's going to be a little bit of early game dedication to pressure. Also give you some very nice tricks to play with the Wisp. You could send your whoever that's like your carry that's back to the base, and then the Wisp relocates back in the base to pick him back up. So there's some kind of more cute mid game things like they could do, but looks like Navi's going to pick up a Bounty Hunter.
Now this pick I like a lot, because Bounty Hunter can dominate a Nature's Prophet 1v1. That's a matchup he can win. They can run a safe lane Bounty Hunter, get a very fast level 6, and that hero gives you a lot of burst damage, a lot of it physical burst damage, which against Wisp means if Io I should say, if it's not perfectly in position, easily can blow the Wisp up before any damage happens. And now IG are going to go for a Magnus. Kind of a curious transition here. A lot of early pushing heroes, a lot of heroes that want to get some quick towers, and then a Wisp who you'd imagine would want to be ganking, but they've gone for a long cooldown teamfight ultimate with this 4th pick. Seems like it is a little bit off compared to the rest of their draft.
Yeah, to me, it's saying that Magnus is going to be going mid against the OD, a complete matchup disadvantage. It also means that Chen and Wisp is going to be providing a lot more gank and support in that particular lane. I think they are looking to shut down OD. Back to the Bounty Hunter pick, it's both a pickup for themselves and also a pick denied to Invictus Gaming, because we've seen the Chinese been using Bounty Hunter in a solo mid position, even with the YYF. We've seen, I think, Fnatic use this combo like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of
it
Trixie
Bounty, Wisp, and Nature's Prophet, and no matter where you are on the map, you're dying if they find you. So it's just...
So do you think this is a block pick then?
Well, Navi do use Bounty Hunter quite a bit.
Right.
So I'm not sure whether IG had that in mind, but to me it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll enter our last 2 picks here. Rubik and Juggernaut get banned off. Juggernaut, obviously, Healing Ward would be great with Prophet. It goes well with the Tether as well, and the Chen pick. A lot of early pushing power. We're going to enter our last 2 picks now. I'm very curious to see what Merlini and Bruno think about the draft so far.
So we have a surprise Wisp and Nature's Prophet for the side of IG. But we also have Bounty Hunter and now Enigma. Lots of team fight for Navi. And when remember, like LGD China picked Bounty Hunter in that game 3. They had 9 kills in 45 minutes. I don't think Navi will have 9 kills by then. We'll have like 90 maybe. So who do you favor right now in the draft?
I think it depends on IG's last pick. I think they're putting Wisp in a more traditional role of making somebody Superman, and that's why they pick Magnus. Again, the team fight doesn't really mesh with their lineup because they don't have an astounding AoE or Magnus follow-up, but they might just go safe carry like Tiny and just...
Oh,
Spectre.
Spectre. Wow.
Okay.
I like that.
What about you yourself?
Well, I do like Navi's team fight. I question if IG has the possibility to actually execute the split push well, which is something that's really hard to do. So it will all about, I mean, the ball is on Navi's court right now. They have to apply the pressure with the team fight and be smart when they take trades for tower, because a split push team can push so much faster. If they can do that before the Spectre becomes a monster, it's Navi's game to take. But if the Spectre gets empowered and then buff from Tether and overcharged,
I really think it's an IG's court, just because they have the Spectre, which is a relatively weaker early game, so they have to survive through the early game. Navi's going to put a lot of pressure on early, and then they have to sort of split Navi up around the map because they don't have good team fight, and they have to make advantage of their triple globals, I suppose. And if they don't take advantage of that, they're gonna lose.
But the thing is that could you pair with Wisp for relocate? Like, who do you relocate with?
Spectre.
You can
doesn't work.
relocate Magnus.
Yeah, and that's the only one.
And then just go in with Furion and then go in.
It's very awkward because these heroes that you could relocate already can get to the fights. They already have Haunt. They already have Prophet TP.
Right.
What do you need the Wisp for?
It's kind of weird.
I would prefer like a Tiny or something, or Sven.
Yeah, Tiny would be nice.
Yeah, but regardless.
Well, we'll see.
Back to you.
Interesting insight from Bruno as well as Merlini here. And on that note, Lumi, we got to introduce the teams. It's a best of 5 between IG and Navi. Your not your grand finals, your lower bracket finals, I should say, for the Alienware Cup, brought to you by Alienware, MasterCard, and DPM Interactive, our lovely organizer. On the dire side, we've got Navi, and it's going to be Puppy on his signature Enigma. Starting in the defensive jungle, Havost handling the Alchemist, and taking up the reins of the Visage will be Kuroki, not on Rubik this game. Dendi, your solo mid OD, and last but not least, it'll be Funnick, your offlane bounty hunter, starting with Boots, and has been pulled quite a bit.
Meanwhile, we're going to see IG Faith playing Wisp. You can see the level 1 camp already being blocked off by Central or being Funnick. They are definitely expecting that level 1 pull. Back in the mid lane, it's going to be Ferrari 430 on the Magnus. Most likely as a sacrifice role against that OD solo mid from Dendy. He's not going to have a good time. On the top lane, it's going to be YYF, starting on the Nature's Prophet. Not really a jungle build. He's looking to actually stay in the lane, and he might actually have a fairly tough time to do so against Enigma that could pop out of jungle. We have Zoe on the bot lane here, going to be playing on the 1-row Spectre. And last but not least, we have Chuan, who might be looking to D-ward. He doesn't actually have any Central Ward available. Face has 2. Maybe I think he is looking to D-ward, but Chuan is playing Chen.
I don't actually think they saw the Bounty Hunter place that Sentry Ward, but I'm not sure. If they did, they're certainly not making any rush to D-ward here. We'll see Funnick off the bat. Look to do a bit of creep pulling. With early boots, it will be very hard for them to actually kill him. Eats a tango preemptively. Now we'll draw the creep way back. They're going to try and go for a very early kill. Faith tethered to a creep. But Funnick with boots, there's just really no way to bring him down. So the early boots paying off here.
I think Funnick actually perhaps made a mistake. You should not actually go into invisibility when they dust you, because you actually lose 10% movement speed. Because you don't gain any movement speed by going into invis any case. But
yeah, the new dust does
it
does slow you down.
So
when you're invis.
But it doesn't matter. He survived because of the boot to speed. It's all good. And of course, Zoe is going to go back to farm. I wonder what Zoe's going to go into ultra late game item, or is it going to be a quick diffusal blade? I know it's a little bit too early to call this, but I feel like if Zoe goes Radiance and if Navi or IG survives to that point, they should be fine. And you definitely do see the Chinese player go more Radiance lately, because they always pick Spectre alongside Empower Magnus, and that will allow you to farm. But that's very, very far from now, and we'll see how IG try to take control of their own jungle.
Yeah, off the bat, we'll see Dendy mid as the OD, and as we talked about throughout the draft, 430 is expected to lose this lane and lose it very badly. They're running the Magnus mid for what he brings to the table later on. Empower, the possibility of a big blink RP, and the threat of just taking a team fight by storm. But the lanes, OD obviously going to struggle here. In the jungle for Navi, we have seen YYF slowing down a few creep camps. He's blocked the pulls with his treants. He's now pulling the wave. He's trying to disrupt the level progression of Kuroki as a new parade of treants enters the Dire jungle. But this doesn't affect Puppy, who's level 2. You can't send your treants everywhere all the time. You can try, but not this early on. So Puppy's still getting a lot out of the jungle. Havost is farming freely, 9 and 0 already, and maxing Grievel's Greed first. They're going to get a lot of farm and a big gold advantage, unless IG take quite a few towers. And it seems like they want to take towers now. 3 heroes grouped up bottom lane and pushing the tier 1.
Yeah, and such an early push. I'm surprised that Bounty Hunter is not able to do anything. Central War is already placed down on the ground. Now, even though there's not too many stuns here, with a Stifling Dagger and a tether to the Centaur creep even, they can actually just speed them up and run them, and maybe even go for the kill. Funnick trying to protect the tower, but you can see that Wisp doing a very good job pulling away. There's a tether to the Centaur, back to it. And going back to what I said about IG learning to play Wisp, seems like they got all the tricks down so far. Using the hero very well.
Well, they've got the early tricks down, but this isn't the hard part. You're up against an off-lane Bounty Hunter. Funnick can do nothing to stop this push. The real test will come later. Zhou will get the first tower of the game, uncontested by Navi. What I'm curious about, Lumi, is will IG try and turn 2 now? Are they going to start pulling the lane back? And if they go for 2, how aggressively will Navi look to defend this? They don't really have the best counter-pushing supports early on. Enigma, Visage, not that good at stopping pushes. So if IG do want to take 2 towers in the next 3 to 4 minutes, I think they can, and I don't see Navi doing much to stop it.
Yeah, we'll see how Navi is gonna kind of fight this early game with tower push. Looks like the Chen has gone back to jungle. Wisp is gonna be babysitting, and are they really gonna go for a kill on Funnick? I really don't think they get this, but zoning him off the lane, and Zoe's not losing too much farm as a result. They're doing a very good job shutting down Funnick. In their victory, in LGD's victory over Navi yesterday, remember it was a lot of pressure early against Funnick as well on that Weaver, and Funnick never really got into the game. I'm not sure whether IG is purposely doing the same thing here.
Yeah, Weaver and Bounty Hunter obviously a bit different in that regard, where the Bounty Hunter can get totally shut down in lane. As long as he throws track out, potentially can be useful. Weaver, a much more item reliant and squishy hero who also wants to be active in the fight. So even if they shut Funnick down hard, I don't think it matters nearly as much as it did in the Weaver game. But that being said, Funnick is level 3. They pushed his tower early, but that gives him a lot of free experience. Now Chuan back into the jungle. We can check the early support levels, and as you would expect, Navi are definitely ahead here. Jungle Enigma against a pushing at level 2 Chuan. Well, that is going to slow IG's level progression down a bit, and Navi, it seems like overall their strategy is for this laning stage, just win our solo mid, dominate the safe lane, get an early farm advantage, and if IG want to take some towers, fine. But we're going to outfarm you with a Jungle Enigma, a free farm, Grievel's Greed Max first, Alchemist, and we'll do it by so much that it doesn't matter if you get those towers. We still are going to beat you in the mid game.
Well, we'll see what that's going to happen. Puppy with the double damage rune is going to rotate in. Let's see if YYF realizes that he needs a TP out right about now.
This is so bad for him.
Is there any teleport scroll available? There is one on Wisp, but I'm not too sure whether he can actually do anything. Meanwhile, with the phase boot up on the bot lane, I think they could actually look to start killing Funnick. If they pop a dust, and if Funnick makes that mistake of going into invisibility again, he's definitely going to go down to the face and tether stun. He's popping the spirit. He's looking to make a go. Of course, keep in mind that spirit does not give sight, so we'll see what if Funnick missteps.
They got to spot him out. For the time being, Chuan is in the jungle, 430, doing some stacking, and it looks like he wants to make up for his inability to CS mid, only 11-2, to the 28-16 of Dendi by stacking some neutrals and farming those later on. So perhaps a way for him to still get his arcane boot, still be involved in this game. But right now, he's got 26 mana, so if he actually wants to farm those neutrals, he'll pop the stick charge right as one of the intelligence steals wears off, but still it has just enough mana for one shockwave. It is not going well for him mid, but he's not expected to do well, and now they're looking for a wraparound on YYF. Stun being charged by Havos. This should be our first blood, unless a massive teleport reaction comes through. Malefist thrown out. Soul Assumption over the top. They get one. Now Faith could be next. Oh, he TP'd in to try and save his buddy, and he's going to go down. Maybe not. Tethers away, but looks to be in a lot of trouble. He'll head north. And Navi not giving chase, almost dying to the tower. Havos is going to stun himself and go down. No, he salves up. Will it be enough? Nope, not quite. That was close. Now the dagger onto Kuroki. Tether forward from Faith. Tries to bring him down. 1-for-1. A bloodbath in the top lane already. And we're not done yet. Zhou coming in looking for Puppy. Score is now 2-1. Navi draw first blood. They force a massive TP reaction from IG. And they still come out 1 kill on top.
Yeah, it's actually not too bad for me, though, for IG, I think, because they protected their tier 1 tower. Wisp went down, but, you know, Wisp going down early is okay. And they were actually trading kills up top, and I think Wisp perhaps got the kill first. And now Zoe hits level 6. That's the big thing for me, because with the face boot up, everybody's in trouble, including Dendi. So wherever they want to gank IG, I think they could start putting a lot of pressure on Navi's heroes.
I can't believe that Wisp lived there. He was able to live, turn around, and kill the Visage. It looked like he was just going to go down. You mentioned using Tether Stun correctly, or Tether for maximum range, to escape, to evade, to come in and out of fights, not just the Wisp, but the teammates. And so far, I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised by Faith. It seems like he's got a pretty good handle on the hero thus far. It is early, but so far it looks pretty good.
Although he's making those early game TPs like he's playing Lina or some sort of more kind of tankier,
that's true,
early game damaging hero. He TP'd in with a 0 armor Wisp and decides to defend his tier 1 tower. Didn't go so well. Look at this huge stack here. 430's been stacking rather well, and he's going to play catch-up here, like you said.
Yeah, I really like what he's doing. He knows he can't farm in the lane, so he stacks the neutrals. They'll give Faith the experience mid. Who cares about him getting creeps? That's much less important. He has the early boots from the tower. He hits level 4 7 minutes in. It's not by any means the fastest Wisp level progression, but considering that he's TP top to try and help YYF, that he got a kill, and that they took an early tier 1, I have to say this Wisp level progression is still pretty decent. Overall, though, it seems to me that Navi are getting mostly the advantage here. Havost, 2 points of Greevil's Greed, farming freely, already 41-7. Enigma, your lead CSer. Yes, a lot of them jungle creeps, but the net worth is going their way, and they have a very strong mid-game 5-man. There's still no relocate. Prophet a bit under-leveled. We will finally see 430 clear off that stack.
We'll see if they're going to go for a kill here on Funnick. You see Faith waiting on the left side here. Tether does give 17 movement speed. And of course, if you add in the Stifling Dagger as well as the face boot, here we go. They're going to go for it. And of course, Funnick goes into Viz. The stun comes here. The Spirit Balls are in the face. And YYF comes in to set up the kill. Again, Funnick maybe not really remembering the fact that Dust does slow him down. It didn't matter there, though. And let's see if IG's going to get this tower. I don't think they will, but YYF adds a little bit more damage to this equation.
Yeah, they really want to force a reaction here from Navi, but I think Navi just don't care about this tower. At least they're showing no interest in defending it. Like you said, IG, not the best early pushing lineup unless the Chen also comes in. But here he comes. Chuan will join the fray. 4 heroes grouped up top for IG. Only Funnick to TP in. He's got a poor man shield up. He's a bit tankier. And IG are going to look to work on this tower. Zhou chipping away at it. No rotation yet. Zhou will eat a Janata crit. Chuan, only level 4, only has 1 creep, but fortunately one of those is Wildkin, so the creeps are dying pretty quickly. Dendi farming mid. Navi going for a tier 1 trade top, and still no real sign that Navi wants to defend this tower.
Yeah, I think Navi's definitely going for more of a mid-game. If you look at the item build coming out from Dendi, he's going for the mech, and that means Puppy, who generally is relegated to go to the mech, he's going to go for a quick BKB. I think BKB is the X factor against IG. what will IG do when Puppey activates his BKB and run in Black Hole? There's nothing they can do to cancel it. Aside from a Blink RP, Tower is going to get denied here. Really good rotation come from Navi. We are going to see a sendback. Keep in mind that Zo could easily come back in a team fight with a Haunt. That's another nice combo they have with a Chen and Spectre. They did force out multiple TPs for that particular deny, but Navi gets further ahead with Havos taking down tier 1 up top.
You know, my one concern for IG is they've spent so much time pushing and trying to help the top lane that between those two, Faith is only level 5 9 minutes in. He's starting to feel a bit under-leveled to me. They need to prioritize getting him level 6 and then finding pickoffs, because Chuan level 4 isn't going to have a huge impact for the mid-game, at least not yet. 430, Arcane Boots and Bottle Up, but no Blink Dagger in sight, a long way off, at least 3 to 4 minutes. Their big X factor has to be this Wisp and the Spectre. Those are the two who have gotten some decent farm. The Prophet YYF still level 4. It's only those two who can have an impact. So I feel for IG, nothing is more important now than getting level 6 on Wisp. They can't keep on going for pushes like that. They need to prioritize the leveling.
I think it's very easy for them to actually just skewer in on the mid lane, RP, and then Haunt back in, maybe even Prophet TP. And I'm not sure why Dendi is actually alive at this point anymore. Buckler, as well as Astral Imprisonment, is somewhat difficult to kill through, but you gotta, like you said, start stemming the bleeding a little bit, get a little bit more kills on their end, and maybe start to look to play a little bit more aggressive. Faith needs his level 6 as well. It looks like he's going to try to find out a top lane.
Havost is going for a Shadow Blade, so he is going for the maximum possible burst damage early on. Phase, Shadow Blade. If he finds Faith, Faith can die from full HP to nothing with like a half duration stun.
Yeah.
That's how much the Alchemist Shadow Blade combo hurts. So I think getting that Shadow Blade up early, IG, you look at their lineup, a good defensive lineup in theory with Hand of God, with a Prophet TPing to mech, and with a Blink RP counter initiation. But in practice, they don't have those items, and they don't have those levels. So if Navi want to be aggressive right around now, I think they can. And Puppey already level 8. The Ogre Club up. He's going for a wraparound top lane. Faith hiding in the trees. Zhou's about to be caught. This could be bad. There's your stun to initiate. He's rather tanky, but it looks like he's probably going down. Black Hole thrown in. They are not messing around. Navi find one. They are diving Faith perhaps a bit too far. 430's rotated in. He skewers forth. He looks for the RP on 2. He hasn't dropped it just yet. Now you're Han. And joining the fight will be Zhou. He went down. He bought back. And now they want more, though. RP just for Kuroki. In trouble, Kuroki is trying to run away. Shockwave will finish the kill. But it's Havos cleaning up on the back lines. Familiars are here as well. You can kill the Visage, but you can't stop the birds from fighting on. Zhou trying to block something. You can't block the Familiars. Now he'll come back in. He daggers on Havos. No rotation from Dendi. No rotation from anyone else. No buybacks in sight. Funnick just farming the bottom lane. Stun comes out on Zhou, but IG in the end will back off. Your score now 5-4. And that was a Spectre buyback. Death into a buyback. He didn't die again. He got a kill, but buying back this early, do you think it's worth it?
I'm not too sure. I think if they got a kill on Havos, I think so. I think misplay from Magnus in that particular team fight. He had 10 charges on the Magic Wand, which gave him another Shockwave to kill all 6 of those Eidolons. Those Eidolons were preventing Zhou from actually making that dive. He had Face Boot. He had level 2 Desolate. He was going to get the kill if there weren't 6 Eidolons there, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Also, they were quite wary of a TP from Funnick. You don't want to fight at low HP against a Bounty Hunter because generally things go very badly. I think Navi came out another kind of advantage team fight. And they didn't even have OD there, who is going to be finishing mech and probably adding 4 staff next. I think right now IG is in pretty big trouble. The early game global not really taking into effect just yet. Need to start ganking. Need to get that Wisp level 6.
They have the Prophet ult, but like you said, I think the big things are that Havos got a Shadow Blade, and that Wisp isn't level 6 yet. And because of that, Navi are in a fantastic position to start forcing some fights. Dendi's just about got a mech. He went for the early Buckler. BKB is a long way off on Puppey, but has the Ogre Club a bit tankier. And Funnick got his Phase Boots. He got a little bit of farm. He now hits level 8, and now he's on the hunt. YYF in the jungle, all by his lonesome. Could be in trouble here if Funnick makes a go. He'll go now. YYF will be forced to TP out immediately. There is a Shuriken Toss available. No, he's going to cancel that TP and just run away to the safety of his team. The warm confines of Magnus keeping him alive for the time being. Chuan hits level 6, Arcane Boots up, and Navi starts a group. If you're up against the Wisp, this is the safest thing to do. As I mentioned before, though, Lumi, still no level 6.
Yeah, right now Zhou is farming on the bot lane with Haunt backup. He is going to be going for a Diffusal Blade. This is one of the rarer times that we see Diffusal Blade on a Chinese Spectre. They love to go for that Radiance. Just a sign that they feel that they're very weak and they need some item to actually fight. Actually pretty good against this particular lineup from Navi. Let's see if it's going to play off here. I think BKB is still the most important item here on Enigma. And speaking of Enigma, he smokes up with the rest of his team and looking probably to gank Spectre. Captain
Puppey leading the charge as he so often does. Hits level 9. Navi wrapping around towards the bottom lane. Relocate should now be up. Faith just hitting level 6. We'll head back to the fountain. Could always be there to try and bring Zhou out of harm's way. There is a Prophet ult. cooling down. Chuan has his online, but here we go. Zhou could be in trouble. Let's see how quick IG are to react. They get off one Janata slow. Now a track. The Malphus comes through. He'll try and dagger his way through the trees. The Hand of God as well, but it won't be enough. Zhou goes down. A well-executed gank by Navi, and that was 3 heroes getting some track gold. They're starting to find their footing. The good news for IG is now they've got the 430 Blink Dagger, and we may see them try and take some fights.
Yeah, that was, to me, a little bit of poor recognition by IG. There were 3 or 4 heroes missing off the map, with only Dendi showing himself in the mid lane. You gotta expect a gank to your most important hero. Zhou did not react to that, and not only did he die, he's gonna give up tier 1 tower as a result. So Navi pulling even further ahead. If we look at the gold chart here, a full 5,000-6,000 ahead, experience a very similar situation. And Navi's one of those teams, and that's one of the best teams in the world to get this snowball going.
And this is without track gold really coming into play. That was your first track kill of the game. Only for 3 heroes, only a level 1 track. They've only taken 1 or 2 towers, and yet they lead by a whole lot of gold. IG very much on the back foot. They'll want to make a play here on Denny. Blink. RP will catch him. Skewer back. Remember, he's got the mech. He's thrown into the entire enemy team. He'll self-astral. He'll try to buy some time. Here comes Puppey, waddling forward, looking for a black hole. Will they have anything to cancel it? They don't. He catches 3. He's into it. 430. No RP. Coming back into the fight. Puppey thought he had backup. He was wrong. He'll go down 2. Now Black Hole on the sidelines. Dendi not able to rejoin the fight. In comes Havos. He is running by a sentry ward. He might even stun himself here. He just gets off the stun. He goes down. Navi with some questionable decision making in that fight. Losing 3, blowing a black hole, and now the gold graph going much more in favor of IG.
That was absolutely brilliant play from IG. Ferrari ran away from that engagement because he knew the black hole was coming. He didn't get black hole. A shockwave took down Enigma. Also, that sentry ward down, they knew that Alchemist would TP as well. It just shows how much foresight this particular team has.
Oh, Kuroki, 430's going for a play mid. He tries to find the solo kill, but track move speed will keep him alive. Now the tether stun. On to Funnick. Funnick. We'll see if this Astral is going to be enough to get a kill on Faith. On the run he is. For the time being, he's sent back. He will be okay. The Chen brings him home safely. Or sorry, no, actually he relocated.
Relocate back, but he's going to get a send back from his Chen. I hope they meet up.
Chuan nowhere near him,
okay, so
this is just a dead
dead
wisp, and that's going to be track hold for Navi.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate here. I think Chuan should have actually just... he doesn't even have a TP to go back home.
I felt IG could have just backed off there.
Yeah.
But 430 got a little overconfident, underestimated the power of track move speed, as well as just the natural tankiness of Visage, and they give up a kill.
Yeah. I thought it would have been enough damage to make that kill, but unfortunately that didn't happen. In fact, I think Navi's starting to look at Roshan. They have everybody parked there. They have a double damage on OD. There is no wards available. This particular ward saw the enemy movement towards it, so the Radiant should know, but the damage output is quite fast. You can see Navi is already bringing Roshan down to half.
And they're doing Roshan without Havost, who's busy finding a solo kill top. Great play from him. Roche dropping pretty quickly with Acid Spray. It would be a lot quicker. RP is cooling down, however. That shockwave hits everyone. Oh, if they stay in this pit, Lumi, this could be very, very bad. They'll be forced off the pit. Maybe IG will try and steal it. Navi, back up to the high ground. Remember, there is no black hole for them in this fight. However, they will have Havost walking towards the mid lane. No TP. He's picked up a Hyperstone. And IG, not content to give away this Roche unopposed. Familiar scouting out the pit. IG, now we'll sit back and wait. The Diffusal Blade, not online, but coming soon. If IG win this fight, if Zhou gets a couple kills, he'll have it. And that will give them a lot of additional damage. Now they'll smoke up. They'll head towards the mid lane. Watch out, Havost. You could be in trouble, my friend. He will walk away. Navi back into the pit. And it looks like no vision for Navi, actually. If you look at this, aside from Familiars and Eidolons, they are playing pretty much entirely in the dark. It's IG who have all the vision. They'll dagger into the pit. Roche dropping low. In comes Zhou. He's going to be too late. Now he haunts the Aegis already online for Dendi. And now on the run. Everyone for Navi backing off. Everybody will survive. And in fact, Dendi says, let's go in, my friends. I'm pretty big. I'm pretty bad. I'm the OD. He's chasing Chuan. I think he's going to get a range. The Tranquil Boots move speed making the difference there. And that's going to be a track kill for at least 3. No way out for Chuan. He'll run back into the fray. He'll try and test a Faith Kuroki, but it won't matter. He goes down.
Yeah, meanwhile, he's going to lose his army as well, as he's too slow to micro them out of the way. Of course, IG not getting a single thing out of that one. Didn't get a tier 1 tower. Up top, did not push from mid too much. And here comes a rotation from Navi. I think IG not having Observer Ward to skill out the Roshan. And whenever Navi makes go back out and then come back in, I think they really lost that Roshan fight just due to not having Observer Ward.
They had a lot of Observer Wards, but they were just late to get into the pit.
Well, they got to the pit once, right? And they forced Navi to go back.
And then they just ran away.
Yeah, they should have a ward there. They should have dropped a ward then. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. OD now picks up a 4-staff. YYF trying to elongate the game by at least doing a little bit of split pushing. I think if this game goes to 40-45 minutes and IG holds their Raxus till then, I think they have a shot. But for now, it is all Navi all the way.
Yeah, you mentioned the gold graph earlier. I imagine it's only gotten worse. It's a 9,000 gold lead, a 6,000 experience lead. Strategically, IG aren't the strongest defensive team. That's one of my concerns for them. Sure, they've got RP, they've got Hand of God, but Navi has a mech, Navi has a 4-staff in the OD, and they have such a tanky team in general. Alchemist is naturally tanky, Visage, a naturally tanky support, Enigma going for an early BKB. IG's built around that 1 RP, then you haunt in and you just try and blow someone up with Tether with the Wisp Spirits. But I don't actually think they can blow up anyone on Navi in a 5v5. If they isolate someone, sure. But if Navi want to group and fight in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I don't see any way that IG can take that fight.
It's going to be somewhat difficult for Navi to push bases at this point here because of Shockwave, because of Blink Skewer, as well as Tree and Protectors in the front, as well as a split pushing from Nature's Prophet. So if YYF as well as Ferrari play well, they should be okay. Here comes a Tether up top, Blink into an RP stun against Havos, does not have his ultimate activated. Here comes a haunt, the global of IG.
The courier could be
in.
next. Oh, Zhou wanted to go on it, but the dagger was thrown the other way. Off the path, he can chase no longer. Puppy will be able to retreat out.
17% movement speed on Faith, trying to get those balls. It's going to apply some slow. It's going to get some kill. Great play here from IG Faith. And, well, that's 2 kills that they
That's a big kill, because that Enigma is very close to a BKB. Puppy almost had it. Dies 400 gold short. Now we'll sit on the sidelines. Diffusal Blade is up for Zhou. And that is a big teamfight item for IG. Make no mistake about it. You haunt, and all of a sudden, you can purge track off of your teammates, so maybe Navi get less gold, you're able to run away. You can just try and chase them out. It's a lot of additional damage, too. So that's a pretty big pickup for them. Still, you look at Navi overall, Assault Caress up for your Alchemist 20 minutes in, Shadowblade is there as well. He went down in that last fight, but if he's with his team, I think it'll be a much tougher kill.
Wait, are you sure you could purge off track? I don't know myself that you could.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Okay. I think the Diffusal Blade is going to be key against Alchemist, just to throw a purge on him, to make him slow, so that he's not going to right-click your entire team. I think that IG, if they go for Radiance right now, they will be in great shape. They have Empower on Zhou to accelerate his run. He's already sitting at 1,400 gold with the Diffusal Blade, so the kills, the KSs with Haunt should not be too hard. And I think IG is not under enough pressure to really for him to go for any other smaller item.
Yeah, every time they find a little pick-off like that, that's such a big deal for them. Because
more time to farm.
Yeah, they get time to farm, they can split push. Navi are the team that are going for the very strong mid-game. BKB, Shadowblade, Assault Caress, the early mech 4-staff on Dendi. They want to fight now. They want to take racks now, or not racks, but the outer tier 2s, they want to basically sequester IG away in their base. But every time IG finds a kill like that, it buys them a lot of breathing room. And you could see, YYF starting to pick up his farm. He's now made his way to the middle as far as net worth goes. He'll work towards... what do you think he'll go for next this game? Will he be the one to build a mech? Will he go for a Shadowblade here?
Chuan is working towards the mech already. He's got the buckler as well as some of parts of the headdress on the courier. So I think he's going to go for some damage, whether it's a Shadowblade or Hex. I imagine it's going to be Shadowblade first to extend that split push. Or if he says, man, I need just an item to focus on the OD, focus on Funnick, then maybe he's going to go Cyphers. Here comes the push of Navi, and let's see if the Radiant has what it takes to defend this. Puppy does have the BKB. Keep in mind, the only thing that will stop it is a Blink RP. So we'll see. Meanwhile, Navi seems like it's going to be trying to stop like a gang to Zhou. I think Zhou says, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Yeah, he's
shame on me.
Yeah.
He won't get fooled twice.
Yeah.
And Navi will continue to farm. They have Greevil's Greed on their side. They've got a really good lineup in terms of just accruing a gold lead and maintaining that gold lead. But IG don't need as many items to get big in the late game. Spectre, not obviously a hero that you want a lot of farm on, but does a lot with very little. Just the Diffusal Blade makes a difference. Chuan does have a mech, but IG, make no mistake about it, are far behind. They want to just find a pick-off here and there with Relocate, with Blink RP, but Navi aren't giving them any pick-offs. Grouped up in the enemy jungle. This is exactly what Navi should be doing. Farm the enemy jungle, stick together, and push some towers. They'll want to fight now while the Aegis is still up on Dendi. We'll actually take a quick look. They have about a minute before it expires. Maybe a bit less than that, and here comes Savost. He is looking pretty fearsome. 3k gold. That's a fat alk. That's a very fat alk.
I just want to point out that Havos, with his really, unnaturally perfect last hit, he's one of the best last hitter in the world, in my opinion. If you look at his net worth, holy god, that's just what perfect last hit plus Greevil's Greed give you, and he's absolutely bonkers.
Do you know if he had that AC when they killed him last time at the top lane, or did he pick it up after he respawned?
I think he only had like a Hyperstone or something like that. I'm not sure myself.
The one good thing is they still have Desolate, so no matter how much armor he gets, no matter how much HP he has, it's still pure damage. it'll still bring him down pretty quickly.
And I think that's the reason why he's going for Yasha into the Manta. If you get a Purge and then you Manta, you get 3 Desolate procs a second. It doesn't matter if you have AC or not. You will just melt. Also, it doesn't matter.
Oh, relocate top lane. They want to go. They've brought in 430. But unfortunately, they won't connect here. Not the biggest deal. It's not that long of a cooldown. It is a level 11 Wisp, but good reactions by Navi.
Yeah.
Clearly used to playing against the Wisp.
Yeah, of course, you got to be used to playing against Wisp if you're playing Western Dota, which IG definitely was a couple weeks back. But for now, IG Zoe going to be looking towards that Manta style. I just want to point out that IG is actually ahead by towers before that tier 2 went down, but they're down by what, 75,000 gold, almost now 10,000 gold. It just shows you what a ton of it is because of that Alchemist. Alchemist leading over the Spectre by 7,000 by himself. Did I say that this guy's OP when it comes to Grieve Perfects? Yes.
He doesn't even have Empower. He didn't even go Battle Fury this game. And Havos still has not that much CS. 195 at 25 minutes isn't insane, but the net worth is. And this is without a whole lot of track gold. Bruno, he said, I think Navi are going to have a few more than 9 kills at 40 minutes. Well, they're at 9 kills at 24. Let's see if it stays that way for much longer.
Well, it's like you said, though. They only had like 1 or 2 track kills. Funnick hasn't been really involving himself in these kind of early game skirmishes. He's gone for a very utility build with drums and Vlads, which is good for the team, but you pick Bounty Hunter for track. You don't pick him for this kind of utility build, and so far he hasn't really got into the game yet.
For the time being, Navi will back off, I imagine, waiting for that next round of items, and more importantly, Roshan number 2. They have most of their core items to me. The only thing I guess they're lacking is the Funnick BKB, maybe the Dendi BKB, and those aren't that far off. If they want to wait for that and Rosh number 2, I think that's fine, but you go much beyond that, then Spectre has a Manta style, Zhou maybe picks up a Vitality booster, and then I think things start to get a little scary for Navi the longer they drag this game on. It's a big gold lead for Navi, make no mistake about it. They lead by 12,000 gold, 25 minutes in, your score 10-9, 1 kill advantage for IG, a 5k experience lead as well, but IG is still very much in this game.
Yeah, you got a question on Navi's decision to not actually commit to a push, being up by 12,000 gold. Remember yesterday's game, it was a ton of farming during the mid game, and IG was, or excuse me, LGD China yesterday was definitely down in terms of gold early on, and Navi didn't push there either. I'm not sure why they're playing kind of passive Dota for the last 2 days. I'm not
I
sure.
guess it must be the BKBs. That's the only thing I can look at and say, well, if you get IG mostly magic damage at this point, it'll start to be a lot more physical as the Spectre gets farmed. But once they have the BKBs, I really don't see any reason to wait longer. Kuroki will get caught in the jungle, purged up, drops the familiar stuns, but still going to go down here. No way out for him. 3 heroes in the party to get the kill. A well-executed relocate gank.
Yeah, and if you don't make those early game pushes, stuff like that happen. I mean, you got to keep in mind that Dendi had Aegis for 6 minutes. They didn't make a push.
They didn't even commit to it.
Yeah, they didn't even do anything. I think they did like...
They took a tier 2 bottom, but that was it.
That's it. I think they could have done more. Maybe taking the mid tier 2, maybe even going for the bot Rex. If you don't make those push against a global lineup consisting of Spectre, relocate Wisp as well as Prophet, you will get those pickoff. I mean, IG is not actively seeking for them, but anytime they see a free one, they will go for it.
And they're not going to smoke up.
Well, let's see if they could... I think they're smoking for Roshan. No?
Oh, they're doing it nice and early, too. The Visage just respawning, leaving the base now. Looks like they want to see if anyone from Navi is going to bite on this push top and come to defend. 430, parked on the high ground. This could be a big RP if he finds Puppey. He'll blink. RP immediately unloaded. Now Puppey in a lot of trouble. Skewered back. Can't BKB. Drops the gem as well. That's a big pickup for IG. Havost on the run. Will they give more chase here? It looks like they'll back off. Everyone taking some damage. They mech up. They retreat out. Funnick comes in. He'll get purged all by his lonesome. No backup. Gets defensively astraled. Does Puppey have buyback? Are they looking to fight with the black hole? He doesn't. They're still going to try and fight. Beautiful familiar stuns from Kuroki. The OD comes out as well. Still alive, however, is 430. He's popped his BKB on the Magnus. Now he looks to run. A tether forward by Faith. Back into the meat grinder. Potentially into some trouble. Still chasing. They'll bring down the Wisp. That's a 3 or 4 hero track kill. IG. They'll purge Havos. Now they want to run. The stun comes out, but I believe Zhou should be able to live. Chuan coming back in. Dendi looking to give chase. This Chen can't make up his mind. Now an Astral. They still are chasing on the bottom side of the map. It's the Prophet running as well. It looks like in the end YYF will live. Wow, what a long fight. Are we actually done yet? One more stun. Navi say, let's go again. They won 430. They've stunned him. Now 430. No RP. Well, he gets sent home by the Chen. A buyback and a relocate. They want to make a turnaround, but in comes Puppey. BKB. Black hole online. This could be very bad. Familiar stuns are there. Looking for it. They can't find it yet. They can't bring down Zhou yet. They need one more hit. They'll do it. He just bought his Manta style. He does go down. Black hole still available. Navi maybe looking at a tier 2 or even a tier 3 here. Chuan Grave chilled up. Still the chase continues. They have chased them from the tier 2 dire mid to the Radiant tier 2 mid. And at long last, the fight comes to a close. 13-12 the score. IG lose their Spectre. They lose their Wisp, and they're going to lose a tier 2 mid as well.
Wow, IG plays so poorly in that team fight. At any point, they could have easily disengaged by just simply using Test of Faith on the sent back on the Spectre. But instead, they baited back and forth. They were looking for more and more kill. Forced to buy back on a Wisp to save the Spectre. Didn't happen against Soul Assumption. You cannot use Wisp against a Soul Assumption in a team fight. And they just lost more than they should have. Spectre dying there was absolutely huge because could have been going for, he would have 1k gold now if he didn't die and if he wasn't farming, and they would have lost. They wouldn't have lost a tier 2 on top of that either. So actually making a, I don't want to say a fatal mistake, but a bigger mistake than they could have gave away. And now here comes the Roshan.
The good news is the fight was so long that they're gonna go now on Havost. Blink RP is there. Now the haunt comes through. Havost, however, very tanky, not dead yet. Spectre caught in the middle. There's your black hole on Joe, dropping fast to Dendi, as well as Havost. Havost is going to live. He's still alive. Finally goes down. They've lost the Spectre again. Now Dendi on the run, and the chase comes out. A tether to Chuan of all heroes. Opa, Chen. He'll back off, though, and the familiars, Kuroki, everything on the backside for him. Trying to engage in IG, maybe looking for a grave chill here. Familiars give chase. Navi hunting. They are going to chase these kills to the ends of the earth, but IG, as a 3-man squad, will barely retreat. They could have just taken Roche. Now, I think Navi will go back for it.
Yeah, Navi with a buyback on Havost, they could easily go back for Roche. Relocate is back up, Spectre down, however, for 25 seconds, and that's more than enough time. YOS says, man, I can't really take this fight. I'm going to go TP up top and start pushing. He does have a Scythe of Ice, so that's a huge pickup. Unfortunately, they weren't able to Scythe in that team fight. I'm not sure what he had it then. And then really, it seems like it didn't have an impact in that team fight.
Yeah, 430, I also want to mention, has been finding a lot of solo hero RPs. Just in that case, Havost, who already picked up his heart, very tanky. We'll see Havost, though. Shadow bladed up, looking for YYF. This could be a big kill. YYF, no way out. Slap and chop. Havost is showing us how to play a mean Auk. He'll make mincemeat out of that Prophet, and another easy kill for him. Hard for Prophet to split push up against this Auk, but I think the key for IG, 430 has to hit bigger RPs. One hero RPs on an Auk with a heart and an AC are not going to cut it at this point in the game.
I think if they make that kill, it's fine, but they don't get the kill, unfortunately, because they don't focus good enough. Unfortunately, 430 need to get out there as well. It's going to be a 4-staff into skewer backwards here. Are they really going to go for a face, trying to relocate back out? It doesn't happen here, as relocate does get dispelled if you stun him during that duration, and that's 2 kills. And here comes the Navi push.
Yeah, it gets blown up in that fight. And Navi, no black hole, but they've got mass BKBs. Dendi's got one. Puppy's got one. Kuroki actually has a completed Aghanim Scepter. Well, that's a pretty farm visage. The power of track gold in action. Navi clustered up as 5, looking to take game 1 of this best of 5 in the Alienware Cup. It's your lower bracket finals, and now Havost will lead the way, as he so often does, chopping away at the tower. This Auk, you can't ignore him, but can you really go on him? You've got to find someone bigger than that, someone easier to kill. Too much Havost right now, and now an Astral. Your Magnus unable to get into the fight. Havost, great positioning from Navi, very far back. They will find Havost. They'll blink and skewer him back into the tower. Maybe something they didn't count on here. Zhou giving chase. ODL dropped on 4. Doesn't actually do a whole lot. Havost says, I'm going to fight my way out of this one. He'll get 1. Now he's got to run, though, as his ultimate has end. Puppy dropping low. 1 more hit will bring him down the tower. They dove him to the tier 4. Navi did. They'll pay with a death there. Now Zhou giving chase. He's the Piper. He wants something more. Havost gets RP'd. Zhou giving chase. A great defensive Astral from Dendi. Buying some time. Finally, Havost goes down. Dendi low. Caught in the Sprout. They're not chasing him, though. Zhou is scared. Zhou is backing off. Clean up for Funnick. He's found 3. Now a skewer away. They're going to lose Chuan as well. 1 by 1. Ultra kill for Navi. They took the racks. They're taking all your gold and all your bodies back to the well. Well, that was not a good engagement for IG.
Yeah, Ferrari's still not out of the woods just yet. Juking left, juking right. He does not have a teleport scroll, so he's going all the way to the other direction. Of course, Navi's still finding
This is so unexpected that Navi are completely lost there. Had no idea where he went.
The reason that he didn't go for Dendi, despite being he wasn't a quarter of health, because he had BKB as well as Aegis. Like the moment that Dendi was gone on, he could have easily killed basically just about everybody else. And Navi already was so far ahead. Here comes Zhou here. He's gonna purge up, force that backward here from Kuroki. There's a buyback being activated from YYF. BKB is used. If you kill that first time, you're going to kill him a second time. Where's the ground targeted Sprout? Nothing from YY just yet. And then he's looking to fight. He's going to focus on Fave. 2 hit drops in low. Here comes the Hand of God. The stuns are coming from Kuroki as well. They're going to get 1 kill. And I do believe this is going to be the second. Here comes Funnick. Any detection coming out. He's going to go for the Wisp. He does get the Wisp. Where's the Scythe? They do get a Purge on him. Dendy, self-destruct here, trying to buy himself some time. 430 in big trouble. He goes down as well. Where's the Scythe? Where's the kill? Black Hole's going to catch 2. And YY's going to get burst down as well. Zoe, he's next. But no, he actually pops the Manta. He's going to go Mammo. He sees Funnick. Funnick's dropping low. Does he have invincibility? He does not. Puppy's dropping on the right as well. But here comes Big Bad Havos with too much damage. And look at these solutions are killing Kuroki as well. It's just a carnage in these team fights, and they're trading quite evenly, 18 to 23, but you're not trading evenly because there's track. My god, this goal chart is just going the other direction with 20,000 goal lead for Navi.
Well, I think they heard Bruno and they said challenge accepted. We'll get more than 9 kills in 40 minutes. It's now 23 to 18. Navi are leading. They've taken 1 lane of racks. Haunt was just used, and this will make it very hard for IG to defend. RP is online, but the Magnus has to respawn. In come the Spectre Illusions, immediately destroyed by Dendimon. Navi looking to take their 2nd lane of racks in game 1 of this best of fight. In comes Savost, working on the racks. Boots of Travel up. He's still got 1,600 gold. Buyback for all these heroes, cooling down on Havost, cooling down on YYF's Prophet, as well as 430's Magnus. They're going to take 2 lanes of racks, and with that, Navi might punch their ticket to turn this game around, but an RP by 430 catches 3, skewers them back into the base. Doesn't matter. BKB from Dendy, BKB from Havost. They man up. They get a few. That Spectre, Astral throughout this fight, can't do a damn thing. Now Dendy diving the well. Oh, well, that'll be a death for him. Dendy really wanted that kill. He doesn't get it in the end. The trend does go down now. Havost in trouble, trying to TP out. Dropping low, but will escape. Great familiar micro by Kuroki throughout this engagement. He will pay with his own life. That's just the toll that has to be paid when you were playing that support. In the end, Navi do get 2 lanes of racks. They do it 35 minutes in, and they now lead by 25,000 gold, 14,000 experience. Is there any hope of a comeback here at all for IG?
If Spectre finds himself a Radiance and a Heart, then yes. I still believe that Spectre can outcarry an Alchemist. I'm not even joking. Despite how strong Alchemist is, he is going to be maxed out very soon. There is Scythe up available. There are things like Force Staff. You got to pick up Blame Mails. You got to, well, not the Spectre, but things like Wisp, Chen. You got to pick up any type of HP or any type of damage that you could redirect back to Navi. OD is just killing them so easily with a single ultimate and any type of right click, but his BKB is dropping low. Looks like they're thinking about relocate. Are they really
they're going to go on Havost now. He's been hexed up. Here comes your 2-man ganking squad. Look at Havost just melt to the Diffusal Blade, as well as the Desolate damage. Well,
you can't make the kill. He's not unkillable. He's quite easily killable.
He was by himself. That was not a fair fight. 3-on-1, and Havost says, that's not how we fight in Russia. We fight like men. He'll come right back in, buyback, Boots of Travel into the fight, and now Zhou caught by himself. No Manta Illusions, no relocate back out. He'll get caught. He'll get picked off. And it looks like Faith didn't bring him back when he left that engagement.
He thought they were absolutely safe, but Boots of Travel into a buyback into a Boots of Travel. And the Alchemist right back in the fight. And can he make it back out? Nice net here by the Dog Troll Warlord, and they're back home.
Yeah, nice micro skills from Chuan, but here comes Navi. 5 grouped up top. This could be the death push. IG, they'll have a hard time defending against this now. Remember, if they can withstand this onslaught, they might be able to turn this game around. Havost, no buyback, as he just used it again. Constantly spamming that buyback off cooldown. They'll force out a Zhou buyback. You mentioned a Spectre with a heart and a Radiance Luminous. Well, buying back at this stage of the game is going to make it much harder to farm those items. There's no track gold for Zhou. Navi take the last tier 2 of the game. They're already up 2 lanes of Rex. 27 to 22 your score. 37 minutes in, and here comes Havost. Alchemist, a little bit more hesitant, though. He knows he's used buyback. He wants to wait for his ult. Now, a pop Chemical Rage, and he'll start slapping at that tower. Blink RP. No, just a skewer attempted by 430. Wants to save the RP for a better one. But this buys some time. Havost will work on this tower, falling quickly. IG, they must defend now. They used a buyback on Zhou, and they're not doing so yet. Navi lurking on the high ground. They're all smoked up. Puppy has a Blink Dagger now. This could be a very big black hole.
They're waiting for an opportunity to skewer him back to the tier 4 tower and then pop the Manta. That's their greatest damage output in a single instance, and basically kill Havost. If they kill the Havost now, they win the team fight because there is no buyback. So the tracks are being very annoying. You don't run next to 430. Hide him so he doesn't get seen.
I do want to say quickly, I like a lot of these item pickups. The Desolator, Vlad's, helps the Alk a lot, also makes these towers much easier to bring down. I think Funnick's itemized really efficiently this game. Boots of Travel on Havost helps because he often does die, but just buy back, rejoin the fight. Then RP's on cooldown, you can turn the fights around. I think Navi are making a lot of good items.
There we go. It's going to be Skewer. No RP just yet. The Hind comes out as well, but look at him. That's a two-man stun. No BKB just yet. Here comes the RP, but there's no damage output. Puppy running on the left side. Gets Troll Warlord stunned, but he does drop a black hole regardless. That's going to find everybody. Faith does not bring his ally back home. And call it GG, I think, because YYF and the rest of the team are getting zoned out, and Big Bad Alchemist is just doing so much work. He doesn't care if he's out of Chemical Rage, or apparently he does. He's going to walk back in, and the rest of Navi is breaking the base. Game 1 will go to Navi.
Put a cherry on top for Navi. They did it in style. IG try to surprise them with a Wisp Prophet 1-2 pick. They'll GG out now, but Navi were fully prepared. IG just couldn't find their footing this game. They had their moments, but not nearly enough. Your final score will be 31-25. The gold lead was nearly 30,000. The experience lead, 18,000 plus. That is a good old-fashioned beatdown. Navi now lead this best of 5, 1-0.
I wouldn't call it a beatdown. I actually thought IG handled themselves quite well despite being in a deficit. Remember that big team fight in the mid lane where you said they chased from tier 2 to tier 2?
Yeah.
I think that's where really IG threw away all of the advantage. They slowly fought back. It was a buyback from Wisp. Spectre did not have to die, and then I think it was Magnus that got really low and was forced to go back as well. They gave away way too much advantage and a tier 2 tower.
And there were some other moments as well. Like when they fought, the first Roshan attempt from Navi, they group up in the pit, IG scouts it out, the Roshan's low, Navi backs out. IG smokes and then runs the really long and slow way around mid, reluctant to go in.
Does it without Observer Ward to see when Navi goes back.
Yeah, they had placed sentries, they had dewarded Navi, but they didn't place any observers of their own. Navi get a free Rosh without vision. They actually had 0 wards up in the Roshan area at that time, and I felt that, as well as the fight that you mentioned, those were the 2 moments where if IG had played differently, maybe they take this game 1, but give it to Navi. They played well.
They played well. I think both teams played rather well. Kuroki's micro with this Visage Birds were absolutely brilliant. You talked about allowing Alchemist to TP out in that one engagement. Chuan micro quite well for playing Chen, but all of these micromanagement aside, Navi takes game number 1 in the lower bracket finals of the Alienware Cup.
And with that being said, we'll see what Bruno and Merlini think. Game 1, Navi now lead 1-0.
Nice try by IG. I thought they had a good lineup, but they just didn't execute it as well as Western teams do. No relocate ganks out, no good test of face.
I'm going to stop you there, right?
Sure.
You say good lineup, but you have a
minus a Spectre.
Yeah, you have a Wisp that can tether and relocate people. You have a Spectre that can hunt. You have a Prophet that can TP anywhere. You have a Chen that can send you back. And while the Magnus is kind of like the odd man out there. Do you think that's a good lineup? It seems to me like it's gimmicky. It's like everyone can move around the map, but no one can actually...
Yeah, I think either the Magnus or the Spectre. I think a more aggressive mid-hero that's not so ultimate dependent. For example, I think Queen of Pain, Puck, Storm, those are the usual 3 aggressive mid-heroes combined with the Spectre, or just, for example, a Sven or a Tiny. Anything like that would have been better, because Navi, they just brought the fights to them with the early Bounty Hunter, all the track gold, with the early Shadow Blade on Vost, and they just weren't able to take team fights. They blew RP for solo heroes, which is not that bad of an idea, but when they keep pushing at you during that RP cooldown and you can't fight back, that's a big problem.
Yeah. How much do you think it matters when you get a Spectre? This is one of the latest late-game carries. When it gets full slotted, it's really hard to kill, not only because it has tons of HP and tons of damage, but also because when you attack her, she kills you at the same time. And then on the other hand, you have the Alchemist, which is one of the fastest farming carries. Do you think this is actually something smart from Navi? Do you think it's intended to go like, okay, let's go with this guy that's probably the fastest carry, and it severely out-advantages the Spectre, or do you not think it's that a big deal?
Well, Alchemist was their first pick, and that's just the strength of Alchemist, right? He just fits any role. He fits the 1 role, he fits support role, he can fit solo mid, and they can just alter it and mold it to IG's lineup. If they last pick Spectre, they just gave up 2 towers 5 minutes in. They didn't care, right? They have the Alchemist free farming, they have Dendi free farming, and that's really one of the powers about Alchemist. Like, if you make those sort of trades, you almost always come out on top, and that's why we almost always see him banned out in the scene, or at least first pick. And that's I think the Spectre was okay, but again, he needs a lot of time to ramp up, and Alchemist just ramps up so much faster. We saw them punish. I think the big turning points were the Roshan. With Spectre dying, not being able to keep up an Alchemist farm, and again, as they keep taking those fights, if Spectre dies twice with its dispersion, you can only BKB through one of them. You're gonna take heavy losses through the second one, and they just made a little bit too many mistakes, I think, and it was just a very difficult to execute lineup if you wanted to beat Navi's the way they played they did.
I agree. And now going back to the guys over there, because I want their opinion as well. In terms of just gameplay, how they play, not the lineups they have, just individual execution from both teams. Do you think Navi heavily outplayed IG, or was it just a matter of a key mistake here, a thing with the picks out there, or something like that?
I think their strategy was a bit more robust. Like, they had a lot of ways to take fights, be it a black hole, a Havost initiation. They could be aggressive and farm. They could try and force towers early. I thought Navi just had the more robust strategy, but I actually thought both teams played similarly well. We saw some good RPs from 430, some good relocates. Navi got caught a few times. There were some questionable moments where I think there was that first fight mid where they ran in 1 by 1. They gave up 3 kills. Puppy black holing 4 without backup. I would not say by any means that Navi played perfectly, but I think they just had enough of a gold and sort of positional advantage, especially getting the Aegis, that they could just kind of snowball that to a win. So I would say both teams played similarly in terms of execution.
I think this is one of those games where you look back and say who made more mistakes. And you talked about Navi making a critical mistake on the mid lane where Dendi died, Black Hole came, Ferrari made a great play, Shockwave from outside the Black Hole got a kill, and then Funna came in, Sentry Ward down, or Alchemist came in, Sentry Ward down, and they lost like 3 or 4 heroes. But to me, is IG making critical mistake from the Roshan pit, like everybody pointed out, that chased them all the way down. Also, why weren't they ganking Dendi a little bit earlier? They had 3 global TPs. They had a Blink Dagger. I don't even think you need a Blink Dagger to get the kill.
They had a chance.
Skewer in, RP, and everybody just focus or jump in. That didn't happen either. I think IG did not execute the global lineup as well as Merlini pointed out. They weren't aggressive enough. You play this balls to the wall, and their balls were very far from the wall. So let's look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way they executed the strategy wasn't that good. I thought tactically, like in the fights, they fought fine, but that's a good point. Strategically, they didn't take advantage of their lineup.
I think the Bounty Hunter pick really played into that too, just because if IG makes equal mistakes, they're just punished so much more heavily. One mistake will lead to like 2 because of earlier BKBs, and it just really punishes any sort of misplay from IG. And you could tell that they were a little bit not too experienced with the lineup.
Right.
And again, they didn't put out early aggression. Wisp just fed from 20 minutes onwards. So did Chen. And I mean, it was a nice try by them. But I think if they perfected it, they could do a lot better. And they have a much more room to improve. Again, Navi strategy, a little bit easier to execute, much safer strategy, and they pulled it off pretty well.
And now, sorry.
I was very disappointed that game with IG actually, or with Navi rather. You want to know
with
why?
Navi. Why with Navi?
They could have done the perfect gold strat. They didn't have a Doombringer, but they had track gold. They had Alchemist Greeble Greed. Where's the Doom, Navi? Where's the Doom?
Where's the Midas on Puppy?
5 Midas.
Yeah, 5 Midases, a Doom pick. That was what was missing.
Refresher Midas.
Refresher Devour.
Where's that? What's that new hero?
Zed, the Arc Warden.
Yeah, he can have 2 Midases at once.
Yes. A Midas on Lord Druid as well.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait until he's ported to Dota.
By the way, Navi has the first pick now, because IG had the first pick and the Wisp.
Oh, they better ban Wisp.
They better ban Wisp.
No Wisp.
They'll ban Wisp. I would be very surprised because
Ban OD as well.
I'm sorry.
Ban OD as well.
I don't think so. I think Alchemist was the big problem.
OD's beatable.
Alchemist was such a monster. I like how you call him the Havost, not Havost.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
That's good. Let's go with that.
The Havost. Okay.
All right, guys. It's a best of 5. Now Navi lead it 1-0. It's your lower bracket finals for the Alienware Cup. Be sure to check out the Alienware Cup on Facebook, Twitter, as well as YouTube, all of them /Alienware Cup. You can also visit their website at alienwarecup.com. Support the sponsors. It really does make a big difference. At Alienware, as well as MasterCard. We appreciate all your support for the stream. We'll be right back with Game 2. Navi now leading 1-0.